All right, well, let's get this started. How you guys doing? This is another sports podcast. This is the second installment of the 2018 season, and my name is Eric. Obviously, still no Darren. He'll be here soon. I promise. He's not dead. He'll be back eventually. But we're just going to get right into it. We have some breaking news that just happened about an hour ago. Shea Patterson has just been announced, the Michigan starting quarterback for the 2018 season. He obviously that was expected, but it's finally been announced. So it's first time under 4 years of Jim Harbaugh that he's announced it before the opening game. So it's going to be Shea Patterson starting at quarterback for number 14 Michigan versus number 12 Notre Dame. How do I know the numbers? Well, that's another breaking news. The first rankings are up, and this is how it's going to be. Of course, we have number 1 Alabama, number 2 Clemson, number 3 Georgia, number 4 Wisconsin, number 5 Ohio State, number 6 Washington, number 7 Oklahoma, number 8 Miami, number 10 Auburn, number 9 Auburn, number 10 Penn State, number 11 Michigan State, number 12 Notre Dame, number 13 is Stanford, 14 is Michigan, 15 is USC, 16 is TCU, 17 is West Virginia, 18 is Mississippi State, 19 is Florida State, 20 is Virginia Tech, 21 is UCF, 22 is Boise State, 23 is Texas, 24 is Oregon, and at the bottom of the 25 is number 25 LSU. So I guess we'll talk about these rankings real quick. It's no surprise that we have Alabama, number 1, national championship defending. Alabama's always at the top of their game. But is it going to really, is this another, like I said last week, is this going to be a down season because of the secondary? The secondary is pretty low right now for Alabama. They're still having some controversy with quarterback. It's going to be interesting to see how they're going to top off September and heading into October, especially when they have games against TAMU, Mississippi State, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, and all those good, they're good teams, good SEC teams, and it's going to be interesting if they can actually knock them off. Number 2, Clemson, not a big surprise. Clemson, made it to the college football playoffs again last year. They've been dominant in the ACC. It's been Clemson, Florida State, Miami the past forever. But Clemson is the only real ACC team that looks competitive right now and deserves that number 2 spot. Number 3, Georgia, which also makes sense, but not 100% on that. Because Georgia, yes, they almost won the national championship last year, but Georgia has lost a lot of talent, including running back Nick Chubb. So it's going to be interesting to see how they rebound. Number 4, Wisconsin. That was surprising how they put 4 Wisconsin over 5 Ohio State. Number 4, Wisconsin is always known to just completely own the west side of the Big Ten Conference. Well, they have to go undefeated, honestly. The west side is really weak, really, really weak, and, depending on Nebraska to see how they're going to work out. But if Wisconsin can finish undefeated properly and win the Big Ten championship, they'll probably still be in that 4-3 spot. Number 5, Ohio State. I'm wondering if this 5 Ohio State thing, the reason they're not in the top 4 is because of the Urban Meyer issue that's going on and all the drama. They also have a new quarterback and a lot of unanswered questions. So that's going to be an interesting thing to see when the season rolls on. Number 6, we have Washington. Now, I talked about the Washington-Auburn game, and this is interesting how they have Washington at 6 and Auburn at 9. So the winner is obviously going to be in that top 10 spot. Loser will probably fall significantly into the teens, if not the 20s. Number 7, Oklahoma. Life after Baker Mayfield is going to be an interesting question, but, Oklahoma's Oklahoma. Oklahoma can get talent. They're like Alabama. They can get talent like it's nothing. Number 8, Miami. Mark Richt's got the turnover chain. He's turned that program over in 2 short years, and it's an interesting thing to see, and it's kind of impressive. Number 8, Miami. They can probably win the Coastal Division again. Biggest people they have to face is Georgia Tech, a Duke team that can be good, can't be good. Who knows? 8th spot I think is too high for Miami, but they could prove me wrong. They face LSU, 25 LSU the first week. As I said, number 9 Auburn. That's probably going to change. If Auburn beats Washington, I think it'll probably Auburn go up to that 6th spot, if not a little higher. Depending on the big win. Then we got 10 Penn State. Penn State's had with Franklin, with Coach Franklin under the helm, it's been a different program. It's been that top 10 program like it used to be years ago. So this is an interesting thing that they're finally in the top 10, but can they finish in the top 10, especially when they have a lot of hard games they got to play? You got the Ohio State, you got Michigan, you got Michigan State. You're fighting for that East title, and that's not an easy title. No one in the East is safe. Everyone in the East, it's just a big open spot for the top 4. After that, we have Michigan State. As I just said, Michigan State, are they going to be good? They got to go through Penn State, Ohio State, and Michigan. So that's going to be interesting. And I think Michigan State this year is at Michigan, so that's going to be a huge game. Number 12, Notre Dame. Notre Dame finished 10-3 last season. As I said last week, they're a great team. They have the potential to be a phenomenal team, but they have to get through number 14, Michigan, on the first week. Talk about a big game. Number 13, Stanford. That's no surprise. Stanford is known to own the Pac-12 along with Washington as of right now. 14, Michigan. That brings a really interesting question. If whoever wins a Notre Dame Michigan game, I think honestly will be ranked in the top 10 because that's a big game, big time defenses going against each other, and Shea Patterson starting at quarterback. That's going to be interesting. Can he bring Michigan to the Big Ten championship, or is it going to be another season for Michigan? And if that's the case, then Jim Harbaugh is going to have a lot, and I mean a lot, of explaining to do. 15, USC. Not a surprise, USC is always up there. Again, with that Pac-12. Pac-12 is really open, like it usually is. I mean, given it's between 3 teams, Washington, USC, and Stanford, maybe Oregon, UCLA, UCLA might be in there. 2-3 years from now with Chip Kelly. 16, we have TCU. Which actually, I'm a little surprised now that I look at this. TCU is 16. They have West Virginia at 17. We have Heisman hopeful quarterback with West Virginia. That's going to be an interesting. Turn of events to see how that's going to work out. Obviously, they face each other. Everyone in the Big 12 does. 18, we have Mississippi State, the Bulldogs, which, again, pretty. It's going to be ironic that Mississippi State is ranked, but Florida Gators aren't. Dan Mullen went from Mississippi State to be the head coach of the Florida Gators. So that's going to be interesting to see how that's going to turn out. I don't think they face each other. Oh, they do. They face each other this year. I think it's on week 3. 19, Florida State. The fact that Florida State is ranked, that's interesting. 19 isn't too high. I think it is. If they were to be ranked, it should be at that 25 spot because 7-5 season last year. It's just not good. They're not a good team this year. I think it's going to be a rebuilding process. I think it's going to take 2 to 3, maybe even 4 years for Florida State to be back at the top dogs like they used to be with Jimbo Fisher. And then we have Virginia Tech right under them. Virginia Tech has a big game. Oh, that's funny, actually. They face each other in week 1. Florida State versus Virginia Tech is the first week. So, obviously winner is going to go a little bit higher. Loser is probably going to fall out of the rankings easily. I mean, unless it's a 1-point loss. But still, I still think whoever loses this game is out of the rankings for the week 2 rankings. UCF, national champions, UCF. Ranked 21. Them and Boise State are the only 2 of the group of 5 that are ranked. No FAU though. That's actually a little bit surprising that they don't have FAU at least ranked 25, 24, especially when they have UCF and Boise State ranked. Amen. It is what it is. Only one person, unfortunately, only one team from the group of five can make a New Year's Six Bowl, while the other ones settle for something else. I don't like it, but it is what it is. Like I said, Boise State is 22, and then we have Texas ranked at 23. I told you Texas is going to be that surprise team this year. And I think honestly, this is the start of how I think this is going to be the start. Oregon at 24, you know, the Pac-12 actually is pretty stacked. So they have one, two, three, four in the top 25. That's not half bad. LSU at 25, by the way. So the SEC has one, two, three, four. SEC has five in the top 25. Big Ten has one, two, three, four, five. Also has five. Yeah, also has five. I mean, the SEC and Big Ten obviously we're going to be the ones to round out the top 25. Pac-12 has four. Uh, Big 12 has one, two, three. Has three. I just noticed Oklahoma State's not even ranked. That's actually a little surprising. But yeah, Oklahoma. Let's see. Is it really just? I think Big 12 only has three. One, two, three. Yeah. There's only three, and then the ACC is having one, two, three, four. That's four. So, SEC, Big Ten rounded out with five. And then you have ACC four, Pac-12 four, and then Big 12 three. These are of course just the preseason rankings. These rankings don't mean anything whatsoever. The real rankings that I think are going to be interesting are actually going to be in the week 5, week 6 basis. But I'll keep it updated on here just so everyone knows the rankings. People don't follow college football like I do, and you guys just want to know the quick rankings. But yeah, that's been interesting. That's an interesting how the top 25 is rounded out. No surprise with the top four. Besides Wisconsin and Ohio State, I thought Ohio State before Wisconsin 5. But this could, like I said, this could be the year Wisconsin goes in. It's possible. They have a great defense. They need a better offense. You know, but that is what it is. That's just nothing we can do about that. Before I log off here and before we, you know, move on, of course, we all know about the Ohio State scandal that's going on, and now we also have the Maryland scandal that's going on. So we have the head coach of Ohio State who's currently on paid leave, and DJ Durkin at Maryland who is currently on paid leave. This shit's ridiculous. I mean, one was letting an assistant coach in who has a lot of issues, obviously, with Ohio State. And the other one was a kid dying because they didn't take the proper protocol, leading to the strength and conditioning coach at Maryland being fired, and possibly, more than likely, the head coach will be fired for that too. Breaking news. Ohio State's Board of Trustees will meet Wednesday about the future of Urban Meyer. So we could have an answer about, what happens with Urban Meyer as soon as Wednesday. That's amazing. Actually, that's right on the spot news. That'll be interesting. Podcast will probably go up Sunday talking about Saturday's games, and we'll talk about what happened. But do you fire Urban Meyer? I mean, he lied straight up to everybody. He has a bad track record with Florida. Obviously, he's just bringing that shit over to Ohio. I mean, if you keep him, then, everyone's going to look at you like, wow, you just turned your back because all you care about is winning. And that's the same with Maryland. If you turn your back and let DJ Durkin go unpunished, it's just winning, and then that's all you care about. I mean, I gave my opinion. I think you should fire Urban Meyer because of how the shit he's done. He hasn't changed worth anything. DJ Durkin, absolutely have to fire. I mean, that's a given. That's easy. You don't fire him. Maryland's going under. The lawsuits and everything. They're just gonna go under. That's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. I just have nothing else to say about that. I mean, what Urban Meyer did was wrong. You know, what DJ Durkin cost a life. You're gone. It shouldn't be fucking rocket science. But besides that, anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching the second installment of the sports podcast. Like I said, Saturday or Sunday. This Saturday actually is the first college football games. New Mexico State, Wyoming. The group of 5 teams are starting out. Of course, next weekend is the real games, but still, check it out. I'll be sure to give you guys information and score updates, along with maybe Heisman candidates and such. Anyway, this has been E from Super Shit Worldwide. Thank you so much for watching the sports podcast, and I will see you next time. Bye.